Brad Goss. Yes, that's we have. All right. First of all, how many of you guys have used? How many guys have used the Warrior Plus site? WarriorPlus.com. Okay. How many of you guys have signed up to be affiliates for other products that people are selling through there? Let's get a good look. Wow. Okay. Pretty good section of the room. How many of you guys want to know how to do that so you can start making some money and pay for this trip? Okay. Mike's made a system for everyone. Mike does. We're going to miss you. Mike's made a system that is incredibly easy, actually, to be able to take advantage of the popular WSOs, the offers that are so good. How many of you guys, this is going to be interesting, how many of you guys bought Max Rilsky's graphics pack? Everybody in the room? Yeah, he turned around and shot another one out the other day, right? These are off. How many did that sell? I mean, a ton, right? A metric ton of those got out of there.
I don't know. No, I think I don't know. I think when we ran it at WSO Day, it probably sold around 1,200.
Okay.
That day, but and it sold thousands.
Right, in the end, and that's from the affiliates kicking in, right? So that was the first. The WSO of the Day comes out, and then everybody rushes and grabs the thing, and then suddenly all of the people who bought the WSO of the Day start mailing their list about it, and that turns into like this exponential flood of sales. I don't know how many, but it's thousands of copies that were sold, right?
Yeah, definitely.
Okay. It's the Max Graphics. I don't know. Yeah, Max isn't
Max
here. We're not here to
Graphics.
pitch Max's stuff. He's lucky we're talking about it right now. No, it's actually a great value for like $10. Okay, this is a classic over delivery. The guy creates a graphics pack that has everything you could possibly need if you're graphically challenged. Right? It's $9.95 to buy. Every month he adds more. Thank you. I don't know what the name of it is, sir. I'm sorry.
I think it's just called Max Graphics.
Max
he has
Graphics.
2 of them now, so there's like version 1
There's a
and
version 2. He made so much money the first time around, he decided, I have to do another one of these right away.
Yeah, it's exactly the same as the first, just he wanted to sell it twice. No, I'm kidding. No, he added a lot of graphics, so I mean, it was definitely a great.
It was
great.
tremendous value. I mean, it was like the classic over delivery. There's everything in there you could possibly want. Buy buttons, modules, and e-cover action scripts. And I mean, I don't even know what all was in there. I haven't looked at all the modules in the thing. But the point of this is a guy who creates this amazing value. It's a very low-priced offer, but it sells thousands of copies. I don't know what his list looks like now, but he's got everybody's list, essentially. Everybody's buyer's list is now his list. And so you can imagine that's probably pretty valuable long-term, right? Mike, you and Mike did a product on how to sell WSOs. Can you tell folks a little bit about that? Because I think they'd probably get a lot of value if nobody has seen that. Can you tell them a little bit about it?
Sure. It was. It's called WSO Formula. If you get it on the Warrior Forum, you get a free license to WSO Pro, which normally costs $19, and WSO Formula costs $19. So it's a no-brainer. And basically what I did was I interviewed Mike, the first interview ever with Mike Lantz. And,
and the last, he said.
But it was good. You know, we talked about, what you need to do in order to become WSO of the Day. And it's not a checklist, but there are certain things that he looks for. And obviously we can let him talk about that a little bit. But I've been blessed. I've been WSO of the Day 4 times in 1 month. And, so obviously selling a WSO formula, if you don't get lucky 4 times in a row, or like Mike Carraway 9 times, unless if you know how to do it. So, when it comes to WSOs, one of the big things is what you were saying, which is really over-deliver, give it a real low price. And for a lot of marketers here, I think they use the Warrior Forum as kind of an introduction point. This is your first time meeting me, so let me really over-deliver, give you a low-price product so that if you want to get in my coaching or, something that's $47 or $97 or whatever, you can do that as well.
I went from 225 pounds down to, well, after yesterday, like 185 pounds, right? Right? And I'm still miserable because I'm not at my ideal self-image. I'm not 160 pounds or 170 pounds with six-pack abs and steroid arms and all that, right? I have way too big of a penis. That's why I got to do the steroids, So it's like a horse, really. I mean, it's a miniature horse, but genetically it's still a horse. So, That's what I quoted. Hey, how many of you guys have seen The Hangover 2? Anybody here? That first part where they got the guy in the towel and they're like, what is that? That was me. I modeled that part. So the people who have seen it will know what I meant. The rest of you, spend $9 for God's sake. I know it doesn't have a refund policy, but go see a movie once in a while. So my point is, everybody does that. Your customer does that. Every single person in the world does it. All right? So they think where they think they should be. So take your market, whatever your market is. Mine's online marketing primarily. Still do offline. Don't really like doing offline. Probably going to try and stop doing offline as much as possible. Right? Why? Because I'm pretty damn good at this stuff. Right? But they have an ideal image they come into your funnel to do. So if you're an offline marketer, right, you want to find out how to find clients. You want to do some lead generation. You want to sell. I'm sorry. You want to sell. You want to sell to them. Okay, you want to be able to perform the services, then you want to get more services done for them. That's really the 5 things that people want to do. So when they come to my offline funnel, those are the 5 key points. And I'll say it again because I know I'm talking very slow, right? Last time I listened to the one from like 2 years ago, it sounded like I literally was like doing crack during the... So my point being, as I take a drink of apple juice to remind myself to breathe. Okay, 5 key areas. They want to find out what type of ideal clients. They want to do some lead generation. They want to sell those clients. They want to perform the services. And then they want to do back-end services and stuff like that. So when people come into my funnel, that is the ideal self-image that they have. Online marketing, right? Maybe it's build a product. Maybe it's be an affiliate. Maybe it is building a huge list. Maybe it's being able to do niche websites, whatever. They have, you good? They have this ideal self-image. And if you always remember that, you can never go wrong, and you will make what I like to refer to as an epic shit ton of money. Right? So, 3 important questions. Who are they? What are they trying to achieve? And what will it take for them to get there? So let me tell you about my ideal client. But before I do that, let me ask a quick question. How many of you guys have a list? Fantastic. Awesome. Kick ass. I'm glad you guys do. So, let me tell you about my list. They're primarily 40 plus. Most have graduated high school. Maybe have a bachelor's, or excuse me, an associate's. Not many have a bachelor's. They make about $45,000 a year. They've got about $50,000 to $75,000 worth of debt. How many of you guys honestly know your customers that well? And Adam does. And why do you know them that well? Yeah, exactly. Because, and you know, people are like, well, God, Tim, how'd you get all that information? Did you spy on them? Use that little iCam video? Yes, I do, but not for that, right? My point being, I asked them. I sent a questionnaire out to them, and I said, totally anonymous. I use SurveyMonkey. Totally anonymous. I just want to get to know about you. And what do people love to talk about? Themselves. So you just ask them. Hey, tell me. So how does that help me? You go, well, that's good. Now I know my list. How does that help me? Well, if I have people over 40 years old, do you think that maybe my language might be a little better or a little different than what I speak to Mario? It's not any better, but it is different than when I'm speaking to Mario, right? Because Mario and I are in the same age bracket, right? So we talk a different slang, if you will, right? A little game, as they like to say on MTV Cribs, right? We talk a little different than if I am talking to, say, my parents or my parents' parents or something like that. So I understand that about my list. But here's what I also understand. And let me ask you this. Raise your hand if you're still working a day job. There's nothing wrong with it. There's nothing wrong with it at all. How many of you guys that have your hands raised, how many of you like to quit your day job? I don't even have a day job. I want to quit that son of a bitch again. I want to walk in and be like, you're fired. See how that feels? Where's my pants? You know, and I have this reoccurring nightmare that I'm going back in the military. They actually let me in one time. They probably won't make that mistake twice. But I'm in basic training getting yelled at by this guy, and I keep looking at him, and I keep saying this over and over. I can't afford the pay cut. I can't. I want to fight for my country. I can't afford the pay cut. And then I normally wake up in a cold sweat, and life is good, right?
This is the reason why all this works, is because what we're showing people is that our entire life, everything behind us leading up to this point of us talking and me helping you achieve your goal, that's everything I have. My whole life is built up to that point. So you're going to trust me when I explain it to you that way. And I explain to you that we've been along the same path. Your entire destiny up to this point where you are stuck in the present and you want to reach that future, I am part of that story. I am the conduit. I am Obi-Wan Kenobi to your Luke Skywalker. You are never going to achieve that destiny if you did not meet me and find me to help you get there, right? I'm the teacher you've waited for your whole life. And this is why that works, because if you create that perception in people that you were destined to meet, you were destined to make that progress, it's incredibly persuasive. It's reciprocity to the infinite degree, because they feel like they owe you everything because you've given them everything. But not really. It's just stories. It's just emails, right? You can do this. It's easy. Just click send. So that's basically my blueprint that I use for creating these guru personalities. I know, like, Brian talked it up like I'm some psychological genius. It's really just 3 factors. I try and identify what their secret identity should be, who they are when they're talking to their friends, because that's the mode I want to put them in so people are comfortable. I want to identify what their superpower is, so like an uncommon container for an excellent power, right? So I dress funny, but I've written some really spectacular sales copy that performed really well, right? So I don't look like the guy who would do that, I don't think. But that's what makes me sort of unique and stand out. I have a secret identity and a superpower that no one knows about except you guys. That's not true, but it seems like that, right? I'm telling you all these copywriting secrets. I tell everybody these secrets. You guys aren't that special. And then there's the origin story, like I told you at the beginning. I started working as a staff writer at Stompernet. I wrote some projects, and then I went off on my own. It just all sort of fell together, and now I'm here talking to you guys. So here's a continuation of that story.